Hey, Casey.
Hi, good morning. Yes, we'll have a very special interview. I mean, if you're a Goofy fan and you are sitting at home on the couch right now, listen up, because I have Bill Farmer, who is the voice of Goofy, amongst many other characters, but you're best known for Goofy. You're wearing your Goofy tie this morning. Are you going to do the whole interview in the Goofy voice?
I'll do it. Actually, Bill's smarter than Goofy, so gosh, but I can bring him in, and he can be here for a while.
Oh, I love it. This is making me so happy. Okay, Bill, tell us about this Comic-Con museum and the new exhibit here. What were your first thoughts when you walked in?
Well, I hadn't seen it till earlier today. My friend Troy Carlson put this all together, and it's probably the most interactive exhibit that I've ever seen about how animation is done behind the scenes. Everything from the history of animation back to the early 1900s, where they just did paper cutouts and then photographed it and put it together into a little story, to all of the animated features that they have today. This takes you through the whole history of animation and what goes into it, including voice acting.
What? I'm not going to be able to keep a serious face here.
It's nice because as we all get older, we would change, and most people's career doesn't last that long, but after 36 years, I'm still providing the voice for the Disney character Goofy and Pluto and many others. So you're not stuck with one.
With all of those different characters, do you have a favorite?
Well, of course, Goofy got me going in the animation industry. He was number one, but I love doing Pluto and whoa, which I can do in all languages, you know, and German, whoa, you know, in Spanish, whoa. I can do any language with Pluto. And more recent ones, I have a show called Amphibia that I have on Disney Plus, where I'm doing an old frog named Hop Pop. And I love doing that because I got to come up with a voice, whereas Goofy has been around since 1932, so I was stepping into some rather large shoes.
How long can you continue doing this, the voiceovers for Goofy and all of these other characters?
I'm going to do it until Goofy sounds like, oh, yuck, howdy there, Mickey. I'll do it as long as they let me.
Do you have a favorite Goofy line?
Gosh, from a Goofy movie, maybe it's when he wakes up and, how many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon? And Max's son's 3.5, and he goes back to sleep.
Casey,
Yes.
like, let out a laugh or, I don't know, something. Has anybody ever picked up his voice out in public and said, hey,
You're Goofy.
he sounds familiar?
Okay, so I know that, Bill, you told me that you don't get recognized when you go out places, but has anyone ever recognized your voice and say, hey, you kind of sound familiar, kind of sound like
That does
Goofy?
happen. Yeah, or occasionally at Disneyland, if I see I'm standing in line for one of the rides, and some kid's on his dad's shoulder, and he's kind of weeping. Sometimes I'll go, gosh. Oh, yeah. And they look around, and they don't know where that came from. I heard Goofy, and go to sleep. They're making up things.
That's funny. You just made Paul Rudy snort.
I'm glad I could bring out a snort.
Oh, my gosh. What a talent.
Wow.
I love Goofy's
Well,
little
thank you for that.
gorsh.
Yeah, that was fun.
It might be a trick question.
Uh-huh.
You have to answer in Goofy voice. If Goofy was in the Puppy Bowl, how many times would he score?
Gosh. Depends on what he ate, I guess. The more he eats, the more he scores.